All right, buckle up for this one because I've got a bone to pick with the internet this week. And honestly, this one has been bubbling up for a while, but I am so tired of seeing videos floating around on social media that say things like gentle parenting doesn't work or gentle parenting is for gentle children. So I want to show you a couple of clips and then we're going to talk about them. Basically, these clips show, a 20-second clip of kids losing their shit in the middle of Tesco, hitting their parents, screaming, throwing a toy, and the mum or dad will just sit there and say, "We don't hit, darling," or, basically just ignoring the kid and not doing anything. And of course, we have to look at the comments because most people will agree and say, "Oh yeah, gentle parenting is gentle children and gentle parenting is bollocks. And this is why our country's in such a mess because parents are gentle parenting. And this is what happens when you don't discipline your children," or we've all heard it, "Back in my day, we got smacked and we turned out fine." So I'm just sitting here looking at TikTok and YouTube and just sitting there thinking these videos are why people do not understand gentle parenting, and this is why it's got such a bad rep because of what people are seeing in those clips. They're not gentle parenting. It's called permissive parenting at best. So none of it is rooted in connection. None of it is rooted in boundaries or conscious parenting. And what the kids are really reacting to is the chaos, the no boundaries, lack of leadership from the parents. It's not gentle parenting. It is permissive parenting. And that's if you can take it on face value that these clips aren't staged in some way. So permissive parenting is hands-off parenting with a mindfulness quote slapped on top of the video. And it's doing all of us gentle parents, the ones that are actually trying to do it properly, a really big disservice. So I want to be clear up front. I am not a parenting expert. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a child behavior expert. I'm just a mum, a mum of a child with autism who has had pretty much every meltdown going, every overstimulation that you can possibly think of. And, he goes very quickly from being down here to being up here. And I'm not coming at it from a perfect parent point of view, basically. I'm not a perfect parent. I fuck up regularly. So, I'm just giving my opinion on it. But I am someone who's chosen to go down the gentle parenting path, not because it's trendy, not because I was, I'm trying to overcome issues from my parents. I loved my mum. She was a fantastic mum. None of it is based in trauma, which a lot of people will have you believe. I just prefer to parent that way. I call it parenting. It would be so much easier to yell at Jacob. Sometimes it would be so much easier to snap at him and say, "Because I said so." It does take effort to try and breathe through overwhelm and get down onto their level and try to understand and say, "I know you're angry. I'm here, but we don't hit." That's gentle parenting. It's not passive, it's not permissive, and it's not a free-for-all, and it's not letting your child be an asshole because feelings. It's trying to parent with empathy and with boundaries at the same time, and it's trying to do the work to stay regulated so you can model regulation for them. So yeah, I want to show you a couple of the clips that I've got, and then we're going to talk about them.
Are you ready to be nice? No! Okay, we're gonna sit out here until you're ready to be nice. We don't need to yell. Hey, no, hands are not for hitting.
Her calmness is setting a great example.
Are you ready to be nice?
No!
Okay, well then we're gonna stay out here until you're ready.
So with that clip, I do feel really sorry for this mum because clearly she's obviously coming at this from a place of she's trying her best, but this is permissive parenting. So in this scenario, if it was me, I'm not sure what the obviously build up for this was with this video, but I would have said if it was Jacob, they're obviously very, very dysregulated at the moment. I would have put my phone down for starters, and not record it. Now, I'm not saying that she does this all the time. I'm assuming she's done this for, I don't know what the benefit of doing this was, but video recording while your kid is having a meltdown isn't going to give you connection with your child, and it's not going to help the situation. Children will feed off that energy. So the child can obviously tell that the parent's not tuned into them, hence the meltdown. So if that was me, I would be sitting with Jacob next to him while he's by the door, and I would be saying, trying to find out what it is that he's actually wanting for starters. So I think if we go back to the video, let me see if I can pick up on what it is that the child's actually listening. Okay, so she's saying, are you ready to be nice? Now, I'm not sure if something's happened before that, but she said, we're going to sit out here until you're ready to be nice. Now, unless the child knows what that means, like, I'm assuming that kid is maybe like, what, 3-ish? You know, what is nice? What does nice mean to that child? Maybe to that child, nice means throwing a chair or hitting. So, you know, why are they sitting outside? What I would be saying if that was Jacob, for example, is, right, mummy is not going to allow you to hit me. I'm not going to allow you to throw things at me. And I would stand up and I would move away. That's it. I would say to them from a slight distance, I would say, Jacob, do you need mummy's help to calm down? And then we can talk about it. And then if he's still kind of up here, I would say to him, right, we don't throw things. It is not okay to throw things. It is not okay to hit me. Mummy is going to move over here until we are calm. Do you need mummy's help to calm down? And you just let them go through that. And that's what I would do. And then when he does have that moment where he's come from up here to down here, then I would talk about it with him. Obviously, it's difficult when you're just looking at a video clip, and I don't know what the situation is that she's trying to resolve here. But just sitting outside is not going to do anything. And she repeats herself a couple of times, saying, you know, hands are not for hitting. Hands are not for hitting when you're ready to be nice. So that was like 3 or 4 times that she said, hands are not for hitting, hands are not for hitting when you're ready to be nice. It's too much for a child. You basically just need to give them that one boundary. I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. I'm not going to allow you to hit me. You get up and you move away. Done. That's it. And then you try and calm them down from that distance, or you can try and talk to them from another area. And you just wait and let them roll out that tantrum. And then when they've come down from up here to here, then you would sit down, and that is when you would try and get to the bottom of what it was that you go through. And then you talk about the behaviour and you say, we do not hit. It is okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, but it is not okay to hit mummy. Maybe next time we could do X, Y, Z. And you give them an option. That's what I would do. That is permissive parenting. So let's have a look at another one.
Get your foot off the table, Mama. That's not nice. Foot down. Foot off table, Mama. Put it down. Get your feet off the table. That's not nice. You're eating. That's nasty. Yes, nasty. Put it down. Get your feet off the table. Get them off. Now. It's not funny. Not funny. Not funny. It's not funny.
She's so cute. Okay, so with that one, again, it's not gentle parenting. And the caption on it is proof that gentle parenting doesn't work. So again, this is permissive parenting. The mom is obviously, you know, she does end up laughing at her because the little girl is laughing as well. But I mean, this kid is what, maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe 18 months, maybe. Ish. She's young, you know, she's clearly not that verbal. And, you know, the mum starts off with, what is it she says? Take your foot off. Yeah, so get your foot off the table.
Nice.
So that's fine. That's okay. But let's see how many times she says that.
Get your foot off the table, Mama. That's not nice. Foot down. Foot off table, Mama. Put it down. Get your feet off the table. That's not nice. You're eating. That's nasty. Yes, nasty. Put it down. Get your feet off the table. Get them off. Now. It's not funny.
So we've got like, what, 9 times she said, get your foot off the table. So again, if that was me, that little kid is in a high chair. So I would say, you know, whatever the little girl's name is, I would say, okay, we're at the table. We don't put our feet on the table. I would assume from her age that she may know what feet are. I don't know. I mean, this is another thing. Does the little girl understand what her feet are, for example? I'm assuming she does because she finds it funny. So we're going to go on the premise that this little girl actually understands what her feet are because she's very young. So I would say, we'll pick her name. Sarah, feet belong on the floor. if she's sat in a chair. This little girl is in a high chair. So, Sarah, feet don't belong on the table. Take the feet off the table. If she carried on, I would just go and move her feet off the table. And if she puts them back up again, I would just move the chair back. We don't put our feet on the table. Just move the chair back a little bit. That's all. So she can't reach the table. We don't put our feet on the table. Move the chair. Done. That's it. 9 times to say the same thing over and over again. And then the mum gets frustrated and shouts. And then the little girl reacts to it by finding it funny. So obviously now she knows she can get a reaction out of mum by doing the thing that she doesn't want her to do. So it's just going to cause more of an issue next time. But yeah, it's permissive. You're allowing the child to control the shots. Rather than just, move them away from the situation. So yeah, there's loads of these on social media. You can obviously go and have a look at them and see. But obviously, like I say, I'm not a parenting expert. These are just what I would do. And I think a lot of people that do gentle parenting may have grown up with, as I say, I didn't. My mum probably was a gentle parent. She was a fantastic mum, but that's probably why I want to sort of emulate what she did. But I appreciate that a lot of people do gentle parenting now because they grew up with punishments or consequences. So, you'll cry if I give you something to cry about. And it's that kind of idea that children need to fear you in order to respect you, that if you don't enforce control, they become out of control. And when we try and do things differently, so when we try to gentle parent, it feels uncomfortable because it goes against everything that you might have been taught about what good parenting looked like. But yeah, good parenting isn't about controlling your children. It's about connecting with them, and it's about being their calm, basically, and letting them mimic your calm. Now, does it mean that we don't get overwhelmed? No, of course not. I have had days where I had one, when I was dropping Jake off at school and he was having a meltdown at school, and I literally got to my car door and I just threw my hand over my head like this, and I was just sort of leaning over the car door because I was just so overwhelmed. I had another one where I'd taken him out. He was probably about 2, 3 at this time, I think. I'd taken him out to Christmas play with Meet Santa, and I thought he would love that. We hadn't had the autism diagnosis at the time, so I didn't realise that it was quite overwhelming for him. But he was just not interested in what I paid for. And to me as a parent, I was like, oh my God, you're so ungrateful. Why are you not doing this? I've paid money for this, And of course, I didn't realize at the time it wasn't that. He wasn't enjoying it. He was just enjoying it in a different way, or he was just overwhelmed. But I got myself so in my head about it. I got outside, took him out. We went in the car and I literally just broke down crying in the car. And he was like, Mummy, Mummy, Mummy. And I was just like, I can't deal. I could just, no. It was just so much for me. And I rung my husband and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I'm so upset. And, so we do get overwhelmed and it's really difficult. And there are days where I'm not going to lie, I really wanted to kind of, just run out of the house and just go, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not parenting anymore. I'm done. But that's what happens. Gentle parenting isn't about being perfect. It's about repairing that connection. So it's about coming back and saying, I didn't handle that very well. And I will say that to Jacob. So when I've got upset or I've got a little bit more overwhelmed and a bit angrier with him than I would have done normally, I will say to him, Jacob, Mummy's sorry. Mummy shouldn't have said that. Let's try again next time. Mummy will do better next time. And that was really hard for me at first because I there's a thing where you think, why are you apologizing to a kid? But it works now with me and Jacob, and he will come up to me as well off his own back at the age of 5, and he'll say, Mummy, I shouldn't have said that. Mummy, I shouldn't have done that. And he's so in tune with his feelings. He will say to me things like, Mummy, I'm angry. Mummy, I feel upset, and then we can talk about it. And I'll say to him sometimes, do you need Mummy's help to calm down? And he will say no, and he'll just go and take himself off in his tent and he'll sit there and calm himself down, and that's fine. But the other day he got himself very overwhelmed. He said to me, Mummy, I need help to calm down. And he came and sat on my lap and I calmed him down, and we sat there until he was calm, and then we talked about it. And that is what gentle parenting is. So yeah, it's retuning yourself. It's not being weak. It's showing my son and Joan Jacob that I make mistakes, everyone makes mistakes, and what matters is what we do about it afterwards. And like I say, he has started apologising on his own. He's started recognising when he's overwhelmed and he will come to me for help. He's learning about emotions and his emotional safety and what he feels comfortable with. And that's the point. And that's where I feel like I've been successful with him in that sense. And going back to the TikTok videos and the YouTube videos, gentle parenting doesn't go viral. Not the real version of gentle parenting generally. What does go viral is these explosive moments, the drama, the extremes, gentle parenting doesn't work. Gentle parenting is gentle children. Seeing a kid hit their mom and no boundaries, no consequences. You don't get any of the clips and stitches with just someone being a gentle parent. And it makes me want to grab the phone and the screen and yell, "This is not what gentle parenting is." Gentle parenting, for anyone that's not sure, still includes consequences, natural consequences, includes boundaries, includes saying no, it includes following through on things. It doesn't include shaming, fear, punishment just for the sake of control. So it's not no consequences, it's a natural or logical consequence. It's not no rules, it's rules with reason. It's not never raise your voice, it's don't lose your shit. And honestly, a lot of the pushback online comes from people who have no idea how emotionally dysregulated they actually are. People who see calm parenting and they feel attacked by it. People who are yelled at and hit and told that's just discipline and they never question it. But just because something was normal for you doesn't mean it was healthy. And just because you turned out okay doesn't mean that your inner child is okay. And just because your parents did the best they could doesn't mean that we can't do it differently and try and improve on it. And it's not blaming, it's just evolving. We're trying to reparent ourselves while parent our children. And it's hard. So if you are here doing that work, I see you, I get you. You're not weak for choosing connecting with your kid over controlling them. You're not being soft for choosing empathy over punishing them. And you're not failing because your child still has a meltdown occasionally. They're meant to. Children do that. What we are doing is we're trying to raise emotionally safe, self-aware humans. It takes time, takes fucking patience and coffee. So no, gentle parenting isn't permissive. It's not the same thing. It's not do whatever you want. It's not I'm scared to say no to my kid or my child is my best friend and can do no wrong. It's leading them. It's loving them. It's regulating them. It's repairing. And I hope to God on social media we stop letting the loudest, most chaotic corners of TikTok define what it looks like, because it really pisses me off. The real parenting is happening quietly in the homes of parents who are choosing to do this. So yeah, that's it from me this week. But if this episode has resonated with you, tag me, message me. Yeah, tell me any of your not gentle parenting clips that you've seen recently, because I probably need a whole series just calling this bollocks out. And if you're sitting there as well thinking, I thought I was doing wrong because my child still has tantrums, you're not. Tantrums are not a sign of failure, they're a sign of safety. Your child trusts you enough to let that tantrum out, and that is good. So yeah, I will see you next week for the next episode of Unfiltered Parenthood, and hopefully you come back for the next episode.